Alright guys, Fridjots here. Just coming to show you how to use and the basic details of my Saturn V Apollo 11 rocket. We'll get started. I'll show you how to assemble it first. So, luckily this is automatic, at least semi-automatic. So the first thing to do is, these will probably have different thumbnails maybe. Spawn the tower first. This has to be done at the Monkey Brain launch site, just because it's got the rails to keep everything aligned. You can't see them there very easily, or at all, but there are rails underneath, rail cars. So once it's moved back, just start spawning the rocket from the tip down. There are some inaccuracies, namely this paint job right here isn't quite right. I couldn't quite make it right or look good with the just the angles, the way Stormworks works with the block and the paint. Interiors only loosely based on the real ones. They have screens and cameras, which obviously they didn't have in the real one. They had cool futuristic displays for the time, but very rudimentary technology compared to what we have today. But yeah, it just makes it difficult, very difficult to do it without cameras. Mainly, actually, because once again, Stormworks and the windows don't quite give you the angle you need. But you can see, yeah, that's automatically stacking the towers, the stages. And it will lift this one up, this stack up, and then do one more. So like I said, this is full scale. I don't know if I said that. This is full scale, no mods, no XML. It's quite cool that it's full scale because this is, obviously you can see how I'm doing it, but yeah, this is the full scale of the build height, this tower pretty much. So we already exceeded that. I kept the build relatively simple, just to keep lag down. There's not too many paint blocks or anything. The other thing is there's tons of fuel. The only time you have to actually start worrying about fuel is once you're in the service command module, so that top grey bit. And obviously, if you do know, space is very, very unrealistic in Stormworks. Calling it unrealistic is probably kind, but you know, you can still have fun. There are no orbits, and the other big thing is there's kind of a resistance in space, so it gives you a max speed that you can kind of travel at efficiently. But I have a dial that will show you that in there. But as you can see, that's all automatic. I'm just sitting here, and now the tower is going to extend. So the chip you can, before you spawn the top stage, there's a big chip at the top called CPU. It's not too hard to see. That you can modify the points where it does the staging, the two automatic stages, first stages. And you can set the parachute height on return and the service module jettison height on return. You can also, this is why I'm telling you this, there's a flip switch on it, which means that you can only that will let you launch this top stage without spawning any of the rest of this, which is nice for testing or if you screwed up or anything like that. I do recommend you save a couple of times, just because it can be a bit unstable sometimes, at least on my PC. This is probably like the third time I'm recording this because I crashed a few times, which is annoying, but it's just random times. It doesn't seem to be actually anything to do with the ship itself. It might just be positioning. Requirements other than spawning it here and a lot of money if you're doing it in campaign mode, which I didn't even know. I've never actually played campaign, funnily enough. But that, and unfortunately there is one moment, the rest of the time's fine, but one moment in the flight where you do need player damage off, and it's when you're doing a retro burn going into lunar orbit. Not really orbit, but close. What happens is you're burning your engine into the direction you're traveling, which means that you travel into your own rocket exhaust and it kills you, which is stupid. And I have reported it as a bug, but I doubt they'll fix it. It's not that big a deal. So here we are at the top of the tower. obviously really high up. Watch out for the gap here. I've fallen out of there more times than you'd like to know. Oh, that's in. And then don't forget to do this. I've forgotten a few times. You can't open the doors once you've gotten rid of them. The other nice thing about this is you can actually get rid of the tower and the previous stages once you've used them. So now I can actually get rid of the tower if I want. If you close this door and that door when it's closing. And hide the controls. Now we've got a light switch and we're ready to roll. Okay, launch button's up here. I don't think I have to tell you anything really. So there's a lot of fuel in this. It's nice and slow. I like it being slow at least. So I could make the fuel like relative to this height here. This is where we're going to jettison with the orange part. But you can't see anything in the first stage when you're in the cockpit while you're in the command module until this launch abort tower comes off. So that comes off here at stage 1 separation. Obviously, if you just want to keep this crosshair in the middle of the spider web, that will be straight up. You can also push this button, which will actually just lock your rocket's attitude at the current attitude that you've got, and that one will zero it out completely. So right now we're just pointed directly up. You don't have to do anything. So like I said, there's no orbits in the game, so you just go straight up in a straight line. Kind of kid's idea of space, but it's fine. In real life, would be pitching over, trying to get some speed going to get into orbit. But as you can see, there's atmosphere halfway out now. Once we leave the atmosphere, obviously we can start picking up speed. But yeah, if you've got this button on, yeah, you don't have to do anything really. Just focus on the cool staging. That's the abort button. You've got to hold it, and that's only during this section here. So once we get to the first stage separation, then you can't use it anymore because we're going to jettison the launch abort tower. Only do that if you want. You know, you want to do it for fun. Like it says on it, there's no going back. Like you'll live and you'll parachute down safely and all that, but you have to restack the whole thing and respawn everything if you want to do it, do anything with it. Almost out of atmosphere. There is a bit of a wobble going on right now. I need to fix that. I don't know what's going on with that before I release. I think one of my PIDs is backwards, but we're still good. This does work in multiplayer alright. I did have some trouble with the doors for my people in my server not being closed when they actually were, but yeah, it worked okay overall. Leaving atmosphere now. Really bugs me. There's no good. I know that's a hydrogen engine in this game, not kerosene like it was in real life for the first stage, but bugs me. There's no exhaust plumes. I tried to put solid rockets in there, but they didn't work. They didn't actually end up putting the exhaust plumes through it, so it didn't work. So coming up the first stage now. Oop. Thrusters to fire that stage backwards, and thrusters push us forward. Then it's going to lose that interstage ring. Oh yeah, that is definitely. You can see the engine's fucking back. My PIDs are backwards. And there goes the launch abort tower. Okay. So, we're in space. We're on the second stage. We can no longer abort it. What we can do though is start pointing at the moon. It's a bit hard to see, but we're there. Now, while we're travelling to our second stage, we can talk about what we have to do after that and the problems that hopefully somebody will have a solution for me. So, did I mention it? Sorry, I've recorded this so many times. So, when we separate after this stage, we can then separate one more time by pushing this button. into our service module, and then we have to do a 180-degree flip and pull out the lunar module, which is hiding in here somewhere. Here it is, underneath us. And I do have that semi-automated, but it only works in certain attitudes. So you pretty much have to be pointing up into the blue section of the horizon when you separate, and you can't be too far down here. And then it will work. Like down here, it will kind of stop working. But yeah, anywhere in this type of area, it works fine. So it drives me nuts. It's to do with gimbal lock. I tried quaternions. There we go. Shows you how good I am at them. I tried rotational matrices. I tried physics blocks, Euler rotations, which is what I'm using now to make it semi-work. But like I said, it still doesn't fully work. So if you know how to make that work, you'll be able to look at my math and ChatGPT's math. Let's be honest. But you'll be able to look at the math and tell me what I did wrong. Hopefully, I'd love you to add me on Steam and don't have to teach me, but just I'll credit you and all that. I'd like that feature to work, because that's the hardest part of this whole thing. Most difficult part, easiest to screw up. The other thing is, you see I'm actually moving around quite a bit now, but remember that you can trim. Remember, don't forget trim. So we're coming up to second stage. Like I said, you can change these points just in the chip, and you could put them all the way here. Like you can fly to the moon multiple times and back, countless times of each stage. There's so much fuel. Oh, here we come. Trying to get a cool angle. This one's not as cool. It's just quite a simple one. But you see, there's thrusters pushing the stage backwards, retro thrusters, and then there's also solid rockets pushing us forward, which in real life, one separates us from it, and two, it gives, before you light the engine, it pushes all the fuel to the back, so you don't get any bubbles. Could be bad, because otherwise the fuel just floats around in 0G. Oh yeah, get rid of that now. So yeah, now we're in the stage 4B. This you can separate at any point. That's this button here. The earlier you separate, the harder it is. It's going to record that distance there, just as a record. Just because you've got a further to travel, and like I said, you can't just coast the whole way because there's resistance in space in this game. Just stupid. So yeah, the earliest I've done is 245.36 kilometers, which is just about halfway. I was aiming for halfway when I pushed it, obviously. You could do a bit earlier than that, but it's going to take more time. The earlier you do it, the more time it's going to take you, because the next stage can't travel as quickly as these ones. And you have to do quite slow burns. This dial here will tell you how efficiently you're burning when you're in the next thing, but it will it's only a rough guide. And the lower your thrust, the more efficient you're going to be, because you're not fighting against the resistance and the top speed. But yeah, I like to separate about kind of around the airish. I don't know. It's nice and easy, but it's still a bit of a good distance. So I'll go over the controls about how you control this once we're actually separated. But the other what makes this quite difficult, and there are ways around it, but what makes this quite difficult, this maneuver we're going to do, is there's a lot of coupling between the translations, so moving strafe, up, down, left, right, and the rotations, so moving, pointing your nose around different directions. Which basically means that if you're trying to move sideways, it will rotate you slightly, and if you try to rotate, it will move you. And that's just to do with where these retro thrusters are, not retro thrusters, reaction control thrusters are. I could have put more on it or laid them out differently, but then it wouldn't be right, So it's difficult. But the rest of it's pretty easy. As you can see, we're halfway now, so we'll just go a bit longer and then we'll separate, and then I'll do a cut until we're out. Need to do our next maneuver. But as you can see, there's, you know, look how much fuel we've still got, and this is at 100% throttle the whole time on an engine that's pretty big. You know, a lot of power, more power than it needs. Alright, so we'll probably start separating now. Now remember what I said, you have to be not at the horizon, oops, and in the blue area for the automatic system to work. Bear in mind the automatic system also won't counter any movement changes from the coupling, so you have to remember that. Please do not push that button. That will separate us. And open up the SLA. And there's our lunar module. So red line's up. And turn this on. So this is the automatic button, as you can see. Currently only works if you punch up to blah 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 blah. If you know to fix it, add me. But if I push that, it will start rotating. But you can see I'm not doing anything right now, but it's moving. And that's the coupling I was talking about. So I'm actually going to have to put in some directional inputs just to counter that and keep us nice and still, just relatively. You can use angle hold. You cannot use position hold right now. If you use position hold, we're still actually moving 290 meters. We're decelerating quite quickly, but we're still moving 200 meters a second, which means that you've got quite a lot of velocity going on. And if you push one, this will just shoot forward. So don't use the position hold, that will ruin it. Try to use small adjustments. Don't get crazy, don't go high speed. If you lose it here, you go too far away or you get too fast, that's it, you're done, pretty much. So with the automatic system, it's pretty easy. And once we dock, it will record the amount of fuel we use to do it. But I'll show you how to control it manually now, because like I said, it doesn't work in every attitude, and manual's fun as well. So turn that off. This is now free control. So W and A, oh sorry, W and S. W and S move you in and out relative to the camera. This is all relative to the camera. So forward and backwards. Now the arrow keys move you up and down, left and right. All simple so far, but because we have to do all degrees of freedom, we have to have different settings. So to do our roll, we have to hold down space and then use A and D. That rotates us. And if we want to rotate left and right, we hold down space and then we use the arrow keys. So the same keys that we're using for turning, for strafing back and forth, we're now using for turning if we're holding down space. Same up and down. You see we're pitching and pitching. So the other thing to remember is these docking doors that we're about to try to link to care way more about the angle that you're at relative to each other than the position. So as long as your position's close but the angle's good, it actually snaps pretty easy. I'll just push this on to get us exact. But see, right now that means we're lined up because the system's actually working. But yeah, you just have to kind of get this in the middle of the crosshair-ish. It's not even that important. Oh, sorry, a bit shaky. As you can see, it just clips in. And we're going to pull the lunar module out. So that's the other big inaccuracy, is in real life these petals, they actually fly off. They get jettisoned. But just doing that in Stormworks just would be tricky because of the weight. It would get all floppy. So unfortunately that's unrealistic. But other than that, we're pretty good. You do still see artwork actually with that, with the pedals still attached. Depends where you look, but they did jettison them. I'm pretty sure on all of them. So yeah, just using my RCS to turn around, turn it off, and a bit of throttle. So this is when this yellow dial becomes really important. Yeah, it is the moon. This yellow dial becomes really important because it shows you how efficiently that you're where is the moon? Here? There it is. You don't get a good view out of this once you're docked to the lunar module. This tells me how efficiently I'm moving. higher is better. So the most efficient setting tends to be like 0.15 to 0.2 on the throttle. But yeah, you obviously can muck with it. If you separate later, it's not such a big deal. You'll make it back fine. But if you separate early, relatively early like we did, you'll run out of hydrogen before you get back. So yeah, take it nice and slow, and I'll be back with you guys once we're quite close to the orbit, and I'll tell you about the next maneuver. Cool, see you then. Alright guys, we're getting pretty close now. So, the next maneuver we're going to do is going to be inserting us into a lunar orbit, which doesn't exist. So, once we get to the blue line, which is about 440 kilometers, we hit the blue button. Simple. That should bring us down to 450 kilometers, 0.2-ish. Hopefully then this will turn off. Sometimes it doesn't, so you might have to manually turn it off, but you'll know. So, and I think I forgot to mention that, that shows you your score, but my high score for that is 1.911. It's quite good, I feel. My other score kind of sucked, my distance score isn't particularly good. But yeah, the only other requirement with that button is you pretty much have to be moving it over 100 meters a second, but you should be anyway. Because we're going to transition into a different speed limit zone. So pretty soon our speed will go from 100 to 400 meters a second. Well, not long after we push the button it will. So yeah, this is just trying to aim it to bring us to a dead stop above the moon. High enough to be on the map, low enough to be on the map, but high enough that it doesn't get pulled down by gravity. Because, once again, basic bitch gravity. Coming up now, 3Ks away. Good idea to kill your throttle as well. It doesn't have to be that precise either. It does its job. So do a bit of a laggy bit here. That's when we do the transition to the high speed zone. And this bit coming up right there is where it will kill you. Because as you can see, we're travelling backwards right now, and that because you're travelling so fast, you just travel into your exhaust. Like I said, I doubt they'll fix that, but they might. So yeah, this is just trying to stop us at 450.2. Hopefully it turns itself off. We'll see. 0.1, 0.2. Yeah, it turns itself off. Cool, and we even came to a dead stop. Now we're going to turn on RCS and turn down position hold for the service module, which of course that will swing around like a mad thing, which is fun. This is when we can transfer into it. But because we're trying to decelerate, this means that it's not too bad to get. Can be a bit funky like now. But we want to do this relatively quickly because we're actually accelerating now into the moon. We need to bring it to a full stop, which it can only do with this on and this on. So I've got both angle hold and position hold on now, and see we're moving 13 meters a second. And if I give it a bit of throttle, it slows down even more. Just trying to get that to 0. Done. So now we'll come to a dead stop above the moon, and we can separate. I'm probably going to save it here actually, just because I've crashed so many, but I've crashed like twice, which is annoying. But we hopefully won't have any problems. So yeah, you just hit this button and hit 1 at the same time, which will turn off your position hold. Say goodbye to our thing. This button here will keep us upright. It pretty much needs to have angle hold on at the same time though. It's a good system, but it's not that great with that angle hold on. Just to, you know, dull out any of the other movements. Okay, now we're descending, we can talk about these screens. So that's our capsule where we came from. The orange, that's the moon surface where we're going. It's halfway, where the white line and the yellow line is our vertical velocity. That was pretty easy to tell what's going on. This one is, I'm pretty happy with this. This makes the rendezvous possible. Before rendezvous, even though even you could see it like this, honestly it used to be near impossible. I managed to do it about 3 times without assist, just full manual, and it was a nightmare. So that's our service module. That's forward, so the service module is slightly to our left. It's about there in orientation. And that's our pitch and roll. So that will move if I rotate us. But the system will put us back. So you want to try to keep that upright, and then that's our velocity. That's our horizontal distance to the service module. So it's 400 meters away horizontally, obviously not vertically. But the cool thing is this yellow line here. That's our velocity vector. So if I give it some forward and start moving it around the circle, you'll see it grows in length, or shortens, and then it will grow as we start accelerating. So all I have to do is point that at the module, the service module, and you'll see that number starts going down quite quickly. So you don't want to overshoot it, but you don't want to go too far either. You can get back with this screen, but the further you are, the more fuel it's going to take, and the more difficult that's going to be, obviously. So I like to try to stay within a couple of Ks of horizontal distance. There is an auto land throttle. This is your height above the moon. It's not 100% accurate. This is actually the accurate laser distance, but it only activates 4Ks above. That's your vertical speed. It's same as that. So I like to hit the auto throttle at about 10, something like that. You can hit it earlier. You can hit it now. You can hit it later. Just depends. But yeah, 10's a good number. See the bottom now. Okay, we're going to hit this, and all we're going to do, this is an auto throttle, is we're just going to focus on staying upright. We don't want that yellow line to get too big either, so just trying to minimize that. But yeah, you can see that threw us off quite a bit. It's not too bad. So yeah, you just want to focus on your descent. You want to not get too far away. You want to be upright the whole time, which the automatic system is dealing with pretty well. And you just want to have a low horizontal velocity as well. You don't want to come in and just smash, you know, hit your toes and flip over. Okay, there we go. Now we're up to our real altitude. You can see it's going pretty smooth. I like to put on position hold like here, which is like the last 200 meters. Just to make sure we got no horizontal velocity. As you can see, I'm kind of ignoring the capsule at the moment. I'm trying to keep my horizontal velocity low just because it's, you know, for landing, which helps, but yeah, I'm not worried about where the capsule is at the moment. Just focusing on keeping those numbers nice and small. You don't have to use any of these systems, you can do it manually. It's pretty hard, but it's doable. So yeah, I'm going to hit my position hold now. And now I'm just completely hands off. It should just land itself pretty easily. Those mountains over there. Sadly, I know it's Apollo 11, so it shouldn't have a rover, but sadly I can't fit a rover into this. Oh, I probably could actually turn these off. But it has to go on this diagonal here, or that diagonal there. No, this one. This diagonal here, I think, is where it lives. It's supposed to live. So yeah, it's not gonna. And the seat hitbox is massive. Anyway, spacesuit on. We have to depressurize the cabin, which is that button there. It's our pressure. The door's locked until that opens, until the pressure's gone. Takes ages to vent, but then it's really quick to fill up, so it's not too bad. This door opens inwards that way, so it's better to be on the right side when you're exiting. So once this light turns off, we'll be able to exit. Here we go, sweet. We did it, boys and girls. Thing. We have to do obligatory salute. Oh. There we go. Great thumbnail. Oh, good. You can see my current background is more or less that. Okay, cool. We did it. Look at this beautiful wasteland of emptiness. So let's get out of here. Our lunar service module's all the way up there. We've got no chance of seeing it. We're so far away. Okay, back in. Now we're going to repressurize. You'll see that almost instant. Yep. Get rid of our suit. Alright, so we're going to take off. It will auto thrust us up a bit. With this button here after a countdown, it's good to have that on. And angle hold on. Auto throttle doesn't do anything anymore. Okay, so this will do a countdown and then it's going to boost us up. As you can see. So we just want to keep nice and straight. Ugh. Bit messy. But yeah. Alright. Sort out our velocity, horizontal velocity. Make sure we're heading in the right direction, and we've got quite a distance to go. 37 k's, so we've got to give us a lot more throttle. Get this going quite high, quite low. It's negative velocity. As far as the game's concerned, this is negative. So I like to go quite high, you know, negative 300 is pretty good for now. And once again, to sort out our velocity vector. Make sure we're traveling toward the ship. Look at this cute little thing. Me. Probably need a few more squirts of thrust throttle to just get up high, but you don't want to overshoot. Same as, well, you don't want to overshoot by much if you overshoot. Same as doing your other maneuvers, just want to do small inputs. Position hold can save you, it will slow you down, but only so much. 0-ish. Really matter. This button here will face you towards the service module, so I'll keep it centered. I don't really use it. It doesn't really help much, to be honest, but it's there. If you're doing it manually or something as well, semi-manually, it's a bit easier. All right, a bit more throttle. But yeah, before I did the screen, it was just impossible to rendezvous. It really was. Well, it wasn't obviously because I did it 3 times, but yeah, it was so hard. Even if the service module's not moving, you know. Okay, 10 kilometers to go. Might be able to see it now. Oh yeah, see that tiny dot? I don't know if it will come across in the video or not. That's our service module. Tiny dot in the distance, center of the earth. Almost see it through there. Alright. What have we got? 7 k's to go. Start seeing that we're going to get close. We're probably going to undershoot. So yes, we're 40 meters away now. See if we can spot it out our window as we go. It's always the fun challenge. How close can you get to it? Three Ks. 23 meters. Might need a bit more throttle. .5-ish Ks away. 1.7. Oh, I might need a bit more, yeah. A bit more throttle again. So that number's not going to be exact where the capsule is, but it'll be close enough. The command module, service module. Oh, we need a bit more fuel. A bit. One more square. See if we can see it out the window or not. Oh, another square. Come on, where are you? Oh, you can see I'm being quite careful not to overshoot height-wise. I say that as we're going to fly past. Oh, we missed. It's pretty far away. It's not a great score. Well, score, you know what I mean. Okay, so now we'll keep that on for now. We'll just get rid of our position hold. Fall back down. Nice. Okay. So these controls are the same as the ones in the service module, so not too hard to learn. You probably want to turn this off now. Do a pitch forward, turn on the docking camera. Now that will change your controls slightly, but only so they're the same, they work with the camera. So the service module's pretty much pointing straight up right now, which means you just want to get that centered, that spider. Okay. go. We are now docked. Upside down, man. So we can jump through here. Can close that door if it gets in the way. It can be a bit tricky sometimes. Alright, this is one of my favourite moments. Is turn that off, hit that, and hit that. Bye. This way we get a nice shooting star for free. Wow. Billions of dollars. Whee! It's beautiful! Right, that's gone. And let's get out of here. Now getting back to the Earth is actually easier, well, which is nice. Realistic. It's somewhat realistic. Ooh, there it is. Probably should actually find out where we need to be pointing. So you'll see our speed starts to get pretty high pretty quick. The display's changed. That line there is our free return. So as long as you get to that line, you're good. If you don't get to that line, well, you're out of luck. But we should have enough fuel. We're going pretty well. It's a bit high. But yeah, you'll see we'll make good progress till about here. We'll slow down a bit there. But that's where we'll jettison the service module, and that's where we'll deploy our parachutes. Looks like the ground is about it's 850 on default. Probably starting to run out of battery as well. Okay guys, just saw there that our speed's only jumped up to 500. That means we're in free return zone. So it means I can turn my thrusters off now and make it back home, no worries. But just for brevity's sake, we'll keep going. We're about to jettison the surface module pretty soon. rotate, so we're in a heat shield down attitude. Not that it matters. Where did our service module go? Oh, not too far. Right, where does it look like we're going to land? Oh no, it might be an Earth landing. Oh no, probably not. Well, it's going to be an Earth landing. I hope it's going to be an Earth landing. But yeah, we're just returning unpowered now. Still accelerating. It's atmosphere. Looks like we're going to land on this peninsula probably. Oh no, we're going to be just outside. Cool. Give us some scenery to look at instead of just empty ocean. Though there's not much to see for quite some time because we're still 20 k's up. Decelerating pretty heavily. Just see clouds. Probably not through the video. See the landmass there? Like I said, these parachutes are going to open at 850 meters, so it's still a bit to go. Where's our service module? It was like here somewhere. There it is. There's the top and the chutes. So sad that they all stack up. It'd be nice if they spread out, but there you go. Here. Right next to the runway, which is kind of nice. We did it. All right. How is that? Sweet. I will just show you guys the launch abort. So I'll be back in a second, but thanks for watching. Hope you download it. Hope you have a good time. Tell me problems, anything you change. Sweet. Alright guys, back again, just here to quickly show off the launch abort. You can do this anytime in stage 1. Just remember that once you do it, that's it. You're going to have to respawn the tower, restack it. But I'll show off anyway. Don't know how early we should do it. We'll just pitch over. Alright, let's go. 3, 2, 1. Whee! So that would have pulled us away from the rocket if it exploded or it's going to explode. You can watch our lawn dart go. Go lawn dart, go! Oh, it's gonna hit the tower. Right. Right next to it though. Cool. So yeah, that's the launch abort. Oops. I shouldn't have scaled this. But yeah, that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you another time. See ya.